Boxing Social. Delighted to be joined once again by the Filipino Flash, Nonito Donaire. We're here in LA ahead of the Wilder Fury weigh-in. Nonito, third time I've interviewed you, third different country.
From everywhere. It's great actually. It's great that we can have this interview in different country and it's pretty awesome actually.
Picking it up in sort of different, and it's been interesting because it's been different stages of your career as well. So there was, I think the first time was before you boxed Frampton, obviously unfortunate defeat, and the second time was before you boxed Ryan Burnett, when I think a lot of people were concerned about your weight, and now you're a champion again. It's come full circle. How are you anyway? How have you been?
It's been amazing. It's just been mentally good. Physically good, I'm very motivated, just keep the momentum rolling at this moment now.
You're somebody who is evergreen. You're now in your mid-30s, you're 35, 36, 36, and you still have this kind of insatiable zest for boxing. Where does that come from?
I love the sport, and I know and understand that I won't be doing this for the rest of my life. So I want to give it all I got, and that's why I come in there with all that zing, all that zest, all that energy, all that smile, because I love what I do.
Now, the last time I saw you was when you defeated Ryan Burnett in the World Boxing Super Series. Tell me a little bit about that fight. By all intents and purposes, wasn't the way that we would have liked the fight to end. What was your thoughts?
A victory, we take big pride of it. We're very proud. I'm proud of myself. I came in and I trained hard, and things happen in boxing, and I just wish Ryan is healthy, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I go in there and I fight, and he's the same. He go in there and fight, and we try to tear our heads off. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, we just want to wish everyone the best. But now that I got the belt and holding the belt, and getting the victory, on to the next. But I'm very, very proud of myself for the discipline, making the weight, for the discipline, going to the gym, and just the moment of inspiration inside that ring, and in the gym and everything. So it's just been such a blessing.
How did it feel in there? It seemed like you were back to the old Nonito Donaire, the bantamweight terror, the all-action style. How difficult was making the weight? You've done it now, so you can potentially, I don't know if you were honest before, but you'd be more honest about it now, should we say. How was it getting down to that weight, and how did you feel in the ring?
Like 3 months before, we were kind of worried. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to make the weight because it wasn't budging. And then I started becoming more disciplined, and then, 2 months, it started to become easy, a month. And then when I got to the week of, it's when it was just so tremendously easy. I came into the weight, and I'm like, I got it. I went, and the most surprising thing for me was I felt so much stronger going into this fight than a lot of the previous fights, So I just felt strong. I felt a lot of energy, but most of it, my power was just there.
How much credit do you give to Kenny Adams? Kenny Adams is somebody who's been around the sport for a long time. I was very privileged to spend some time with him during the fight week in Glasgow. Seems to me like a no-nonsense kind of guy. You're very much a kind of happy-go-lucky, chilled-out guy. Yeah. It obviously worked because you made the weight and you got the win. What was it like working with him, and will you be working with him going into the Zolani Tete fight?
Definitely be working with Kenny. Kenny's been just amazing. All that energy and the respect level allows me to just follow, and it's easy to follow his strategy. But most of all, just the experience that he brings to the table. I mean, it's just incredible. He can look into a fight and say, "Oh, I think we can do it this way," and we try it on sparring, and I'm like, "Oh, it worked." So he's been a big influence in winning fights.
What have you been up to since you got the win? You brought your lovely family, your wife Rachel, and your children along with you. It was it's always very touching to see that side of a fighter when they're about to go into battle. Just been enjoying time with your family since?
Definitely, especially with the holidays here in the U.S. We've just been going around, picking up trees, for Christmas. It's just been amazing, man, to be able to spend time, because I know that when it kicks in, my children has been really clingy, because when I was training for the fight, I wasn't there, or I was kind of checked out because I'm done. Hey guys, I'll play with them for about an hour, and I'm like, okay guys, I gotta go rest now, and I gotta go train, or I gotta do this, I gotta do that. So I haven't been really, the time that I usually spend with them normally, they expect that from me. But when I was training for the fight, they couldn't have that, and then so when after the fight, they were just all over me. I could not get rid of them, from just anywhere, just anything. I could not get rid of them, and I'm just blessed with those little munchkin, and just climbing all over me and just punching me everywhere. It's such a blessing, man. I've just been spending a lot of time with them.
Now you've got weight to make because you've got your next fight sorted out. We're still waiting for a date and a venue. Is it going to be a case of watching your weight over Christmas? Maybe a little bit less turkey than potentially you would have had in previous years?
It's just more of me being disciplined. I've just never been that kind of guy. Just been more disciplined in a lot of things, and I don't think I'm gonna make any. I don't think I would be watching my weight on the holidays. I'm gonna enjoy the holidays, that's for sure.
How much more is there to come from you in your career? Is it a case of the World Boxing Super Series? I know when we spoke in Glasgow, you said being undisputed champion was kind of the law for you to box in the World Boxing Super Series. Will that be it, all being well, and you win the World Boxing Super Series? Do you think you'll be able to kind of hang them up, or do you think you'll keep going? Because you've had this career that's stretched over years and years and years, and every time we kind of think that you might be going away, you come back and reinvent yourself.
I love what I do. I don't want to be sitting in my chair 30 years from now, 40 years from now, and say, man, I know I had 5 more years to go, or 10 more years to go. I love the sport, and I'm going to do it until I'm healthy, until until I can't do it anymore. This is just how I am. I've made my decision to keep going and enjoy every moment of it.
So you're facing Zlani Tete in the next round of the World Boxing Super Series. Have you seen much of Tete?
Yes, I've started to watch a lot of his fights, and he's an incredible fighter. Long reach, fast as well, southpaw. So me and Kenny are putting a good strategy together. So we're very excited for this fight.
We hope that fight ends up somewhere in the UK so we can get you and Kenny back over.
Yes. Unless it's another country, then you end up going like, hey, 4-time, So just we're very excited for it. We're very, very excited for it.
You're here now. You're in LA. It's always a nightmare to get an interview of you around fans, because fans just want to get a picture with you. You've obviously got the beautiful new belt with you. It's a nice looking belt.
Most amazing belt.
You just want to show it off.
Amazing belt. It's shining. Look at that reflection right now. You see that? Yeah, right there. See?
Do you still get, you've won, I think you're an 8-time world champion, 9-time world champion, five different weight classes, right? Yeah. Do you still get kind of the same feeling as when you won your first one, or is it different as they go?
It's funny because for this fight, even just receiving this belt, just looking at the belt, it's just brilliant and beautiful. But receiving this belt, it felt like that moment that I just first time got my belt. And I think because of the years that I had not performed well, this time I performed really well. I felt good, I felt strong, and I felt like there's so much more coming. And I felt that this was a needed emotion. And just seeing this belt and holding this belt just give me that feeling of just winning. I love that feeling.
Now, where I was going with that, with regards to the fans, everywhere I've been with you, you've had enormous support. That must be such an amazing feeling. You're of Filipino origin, you've based yourself in America. I've been there in Belfast and Glasgow, where you've had people from Belfast and Glasgow screaming for you. That must make you feel $1 million.
That's the beauty about boxing. I think this is something that a lot of fighters get stuck on. Even though they're past their primes and stuff like that, you just love that. You love that atmosphere, you love that love from everybody else. And I'm just so grateful to be able to represent boxing the way I do. And to get those cheers from everyone else, everyone else is like a family. When it's just that feeling of just wholeness and oneness with everybody. I love that feeling.
Now, I've mentioned you're kind of evergreen. I don't know whether it's something that they have in the water in the Philippines, but Manny Pacquiao is now going to be fighting Broner in January. Your countryman, you were kind of dubbed the new Pacquiao once upon a time. What do you make of that fight, and what do you make of Manny continuing into his 40s now?
I think that it's just a matter of discipline, because Manny showed what he's capable of in the last fight, and I think with the right focus and the right mind, I think that he's going to be able to just dominate his opponent. I think that he has the capabilities to. I don't think he's going to leave him as long as he's disciplined and just motivated for it.
Even after everything you've achieved in your career, do you still kind of look at Manny as an inspiration, or is it now a point where you're kind of your own man and you focus on yourself?
It's funny because I've reversed that aspect. I'm always going to look up to those guys and be inspired by them. But it's funny because now I'm looking at the young guys coming up, and I'm actually more inspired looking at those guys than the old generation, you know. But they're definitely a big influence in me, you know, with Manny and just all the guys, you know, just watching them fight, you know, and just be there and just still make it happen. But one thing that inspired me now is just watching those guys, and they inspire me. The young crowds inspiring me to see where I can create myself all over again, you know, and I'm learning a lot from them.
How would you like to be remembered when, if ever, you do hang up your gloves? Because I don't really see it happening anytime soon. How would you want Nonito Donaire to be remembered as a fighter?
You know, it's just a person who loves the sport, a person who gave everything to the sport, you know, and who is grateful for it. Whatever it is that people will remember me of, I'm grateful for. But for me, it's just living the moment of living the things that I love doing.
And just finally, we're here, obviously, ahead of Deontay Wilder's WBC World Heavyweight title defense against Tyson Fury. Just your thoughts on that fight?
I think it's a very dynamic fight. I mean, anything can happen in boxing world, especially for the heavyweights. You know, I'm more of a, you know, for me, I think Fury is a very talented guy, you know, and very slick. But it all comes down to his mental state. You know, mental state can be a great weapon when it comes down to it. But ultimately, I'm a power guy, so I'm gonna be into the power. So I'm more not supporting, but I'm more onto the picking Wilder for this, because that's just how I am. You know, that's how I fight. You know, I go out there and just give it all I got, you know. But I think that this fight's going to be an amazing fight. I think everybody's going to be a win-win situation for everybody. You know, it's just going to be an incredible fight. But don't get me wrong, anything can happen in every fight.
Okay, well, Nonito Donaire, it's always a pleasure to sit down with you. I look forward to the next time we do it, probably in a different country. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. Congratulations on your last win. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you very much. More to come. That's right. Check this out. Thanks, man. Thank you.
Man.